Hi, my name's MJ. I am the current department head for panels and workshops at ZinCaiCon. It is a multi-genre convention that's held in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We're in our 20th year this year. Woo! We're held March 20th to 22nd. You all should come, it's great. We have about 8,000 attendees every year, and we just grew to taking over 2 different venues because we outgrew the Lancaster County Convention Center. For panels and workshops this year, we are in the midst. We closed panel apps two weeks ago. We had over 300 applicants. We're going to accept about 120 of them-ish. And so I can speak to that. This is my first year back doing panels and workshops. I started working at ZinCaiCon in 2013. I was just a regular assistant panels head. And then I got really involved with the board of directors. So I was a member at large of the board of directors from 2014 to 2015. I was the secretary the following year. And then the year after that, I was the vice con chair. And I also kind of shepherded ZinCaiCon through through developing the more divisions. We used to be a very flat organization, and then we were growing. So I helped lead the group of being like, okay, so now we're gonna have divisions with these different groups of departments versus all the departments kind of reporting to one person. Does that make sense? Yes. Cool. Christian.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about who you are?
Yeah, hi, my name's Chris Armstrong. I've worked in panels for I don't know how many years. I've kind of moved on from panels to actually guest department, but I'm still involved, especially pre-event, with going through the submissions and saying, yeah, that looks like a good idea. Nah, that's a bad idea. And that's kind of what probably that first step is the most vital of steps. Especially, like you talk about, oh, you got 300 submissions and you can only accept so many. I'm trying to scroll all the way down of like, how many submissions do we have again? Let's see, 300, 400. Yeah.
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 974 for this con, and then
And
they
we
only
have
accepted
7
170.
Yeah, and we have 70 panel rooms.
Yeah.
Now our submission form does not just include panels, but like you use the same form for arena or makerspace, which is different areas, but yeah, it's still even a lower acceptance rate is what I'm trying to get at.
So yes, so that's great because our application also, my department covers panels, workshops, demos, and something else I can't think of right now because, I had like 10 minutes to prepare. Application process. I'm just going to go through that, chime in, Christian, as you would like. Am I getting your name right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just met this person like 3 minutes ago. Bear with me. Always be mindful of the deadlines. You are responsible for meeting the deadline. Like if you miss it, don't write them an email like, my cat got sick and I missed the deadline, please let me. We have so many, we just have to cut it off. Deadlines are always hard. If you miss the deadline, just make sure that you stay on top of it for the following year. When you do an application, check your grammar, check your spelling, put it through Grammarly, and make sure, because that, like, if you haven't done that bare minimum to do a good thing, then that's really an indicator that you're not really taking this seriously. So check your grammar, check your spelling, make sure that you're writing in complete sentences or at least sentences that make sense. If you struggle with that, have your roommate check it. But yeah, Grammarly is your best friend. Have a catchy title that is clear of what you're talking about and what you're addressing, but is also kind of engaging and would be eye-catching for the attendees as they scroll through millions of different options that they can do for their time while they're at the con. Have an engaging blurb for the description. Once again, you want to make sure that it's clear like what's actually going to happen, and you don't want to be like false advertising about what you're going to do, so that people are like who show up aren't going to be disappointed. But also, once again, check your grammar, check your spelling, make sure it's clear. Cool. What else? I
would say for the submission is earlier the better. At least for us, we have so many submissions, and no joke, about 1/3 is in the last 2 days.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. About like 60% of ours are in the last like week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I had the graphic, it goes like, Like seriously, of how many submissions we get in the like last few days, and
When you read submissions, are you reading from the oldest to the newest?
from the new, from the first that came in to the last
Yeah,
that came in.
that's how we read submissions too. Continue, sorry.
And we'll just say if you submit something, especially at LACE, let's just say like last year, the game of the year was Clair Obscur. We had 3 accepted panels about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We definitely got 7 or 8 of those. So let's just say you want to do that, but you missed. Well, maybe we've already got that on that subject. So we have to not say that not only, yeah, we want to do that, but is it better than the one we already thought was cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll also say one of the things I didn't have noted, but ZenkaiCon has themes every year. So we had like a yokai theme a couple years ago. We're doing cherry blossom this year. So panels that and programs that have that theme integrated or like theme centric also get a privilege on our spectrum because we want to boost that type of programming. So I haven't applied for MAGFest panels in a bit. On our panel,
We do the same, but I think
Similar.
people got enough of that idea. Like last year for Sonic, we had so many Sonic panels.
Yeah. So one of the things we ask is how do you think this will play with our attendees? Like what do you expect attendees to get out of this program? Do you have something similar?
Oh, sure. Actually, we think a lot about the rooms specifically. There's a lot of panels. We only have, I would say, panels room 1 is our only big space. And we say, okay, if it's not in panels room 1, we can't have it, sadly. And we've had to say no to some really cool things because of it and go for more niche things.
Sorry, what did you just say?
That
They're
getting
thinking
an
about
idea of how
logistics.
logistics of what fills a room and how many people will come to a panel, and how we can only accept so many panels that will fill up our big panels room 1 because we have no other room that's even close to that size.
When we jury panels, and I'm sure MAGFest does it too, I love Twilight, but don't judge, guys. But I'm not gonna accept 15 Twilight panels just because I like it. We are looking for what are attendees going to respond to, what's good for them. So even if something's not something that I stand, and it's really popular, then it's gonna come through and we're gonna have more things. Okay, so we will do questions until, time check? Oh, we're good on, okay. So here with the blue hair and then the person with the, yes, you with the navy shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
In terms of panel topic
Yep.
spread, what would be, in your experience, a good balance? Because obviously the big ones get priority for the larger
Yeah.
panel rooms. What would be the balance between way too niche and way too broad, or too popular of a topic that might not be able to compete with something that has someone with more credentials or someone with more organized panel?
Yeah, we definitely enjoy people who have credentials.
Yes, yeah, go for it.
Especially for, one of our heart is mental health, if you want to speak of that, if you're not a professional, or we have a couple lawyer panels, you have to be a lawyer. If you're not, we're not
Yeah,
talking
we're gonna
about
talk
that.
about legal stuff.
Yes,
or
exactly.
accounting, yeah. I'll also say you can put in multiple panel apps. So if you have multiple things that you're interested in doing, put in multiple apps. And then just kind of see where the chips lie. So yes, you with the navy hoodie.
Yeah. So how do you evaluate when you're looking at a submission whether you think that panel is going to draw a lot of people or not? Is it based on the topic? What kind of metrics are you looking at?
We definitely keep the data. That man in the back is probably trying to keep numbers of how many people attended. So we have some historical data of what people attended, what panels, especially at what times. Because trust me, a panel on Sunday versus primetime Saturday is different. But that helps.
Hold questions for 1 second, because I'm going to finish this application a little bit, and
Yep.
then we'll take all the questions about applications. Other things to strengthen your application, if you are someone who has a podcast or a blog on whatever topic you want to present on. That's always great to like have in your application as
Links
well,
are good.
to show that you have like, you're not just doing this off the top of your head. You've already done some research. You're already a part of the community. You already have some street cred. We already talked about how MAGFest does privilege people with formal experience. The other thing is MAGFest is a huge con, and like MAGFest and Otakon, they're huge cons. They have thousands and thousands of applicants. A lot of times cons will ask, have you presented at a con before? And sometimes they'll ask, have you presented at this specific con before? So for the, have you presented at a con before, if you have, then that's a really good sign that you kind of already know like what the rigmarole is, what the processes are, what you're expected to do, and it gives you some additional credentials. So if you want to speak at one of these huge cons, it also helps to like speak at one of the smaller ones first and kind of get your training wheels there and say like, yes, I've spoken at KatsuCon, or I've spoken at some of these smaller cons as well, so that you can just showcase that you've done this, you're a serious person. You're not going to flake out on them at the last minute, because that's kind of like, we don't want that. The other thing to help strengthen your application is if you are one person who really likes K-pop Demon Hunter. I freaking love, like, not specifically, but say you're someone who really likes K-pop Demon Hunter and you want to talk about how it's a religious allegory. Awesome. Get some of your friends to do it. Don't just say, I'm going to do this by myself. Find other people and have a true panel versus a presentation. Because also in some cons, if you have multiple people coming in and like saying that they're going to do it, then they know, okay, if one person falls through, then maybe some of these other people will still have it come to pass. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Very true, just like what's happening right here, or I'll be, like a lot of stuff in 2022, there were a couple panels, well, a lot of panels canceled because that was the cluster heck year of all hex. But there was a couple that had multiple panelists, and it's like the one guy who could make it made that panel be able to still go.
Yeah. Okay.
Not application-wise, it's more of just like how many.
So the question was, is there a difference between panels and presentations?
For us, it's just a mark as like, are you a lecture or are you like Q&A, or like what kind of content you're running? It's just a drop-down menu.
So now we're going to do questions on applications. Cool. Okay. The person with the short hair who's been very patient, and then the person with the glasses who I'm looking at right now. Yeah, you. So first you. Yes.
So for taking into account established creators in space who might want to do a panel, do you also take into account in case like the person also applying with them is not a creator? For example, it's like, oh, this is an established creator in the video gaming space. Let's say he's an established YouTuber, and the panelist they're having on with them is not YouTuber. Do you take that into account too for applications?
We're looking at every single person that we know of. We're looking at every single piece of data that you give us, and we're investigating it and looking through it that way. That's us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
That
you.
answered. Yes, you with the glasses.
So I guess I kind of had questions about what the content restrictions are generally for a panel. Does that
Change per
like
con.
late night panels seem to get into like weirder territory? Is there a cutoff when you're allowed to just go?
Yeah, that's very con specific. I don't know what your rules are.
So I'm going to repeat the question back to you just so I understand. Is there consideration with the timing and scheduling of the panels versus contents, i.e., putting more esoteric and like off the left field panels late at night? Is that kind of what you're asking?
I guess it's more like. No, that's how weird.
Okay, so
I'm 2 hours asleep.
no, that's okay.
So like,
Or, yeah, like explicit maybe.
So let's talk about 18 plus.
Sure.
So weird panels. Sometimes if we have like a weird panel, like that could do something, we've never heard of it, but like we Googled it and it looks like it might be a niche thing, then maybe we'll put it at like 9 o'clock on the Sunday, or like the very first thing that happens on the first day. So like sometimes we'll do that but like that's like a 0.1% of panel apps, right? Like don't put all your eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
For 18 plus, different cons do it different ways.
Like we, as panels specifically, we do not do 18 plus content. Why? Because it's too much of dealing with security and actually making sure stuff like that.
Yeah.
Certain other, like Makerspace had an 18 plus event, like I think one, and we had a ton of questions of why no 18 plus when you obviously have an 18, like, well, that's uses the same form but not us, which is like a weird thing to say, but Makerspace is a smaller room, so they'd be able to actually check
IDs,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Versus Panels Room 1, which would be 700 check, like that would take so much time. Ugh.
We have 18 plus content and programs at ZenkaiCon. Wristbands are always a challenge as a con runner because a lot of times they're done at Reg or like, where do I get my wristband? Oh, I didn't know I want to go to this panel right before it happened, and now I'm here without a wristband, and I don't want to walk all the way to where I have to get wristbands to come in this panel. We do it. There's different ways of administrating that. Generally, we run our 18 plus from about 6 p.m. to about 2 a.m. Our panel shuts down at 2. And then reopens around like 9-ish in the morning. So we do late night 18 plus, but we also try to balance to also have like some non-18 plus stuff happening late at night too. So it varies greatly from con to con. Okay, yes?
Yeah, the one thing I will have to say, especially when we talk about timing, one of the things we have is availability, especially if you want to be like, hey, I'm doing a cosplay thing and I want to be at the cosplay contest, so don't put me against that. And if you think you're doing something late night, if you say, yeah, I can't do any panel after 9 p.m., that may be like, cool, we're not just going to do that at all, is also a thing. So availability of when you can and cannot do a panel is actually a big thing. Also,
Yeah.
since we're a 4-day event, so many people can't do Thursdays because they just don't come on Thursdays. And wow. What we do is our favorite panels get prime spots. Like we go through first of like, this is our favorite panel, we're going to schedule that first. And then we go down the line as we go through that.
Yeah.
So it gets to a point where when we're almost out, it's like, well, we kind of would like this, but now their availability doesn't work. And
Yeah.
we can't schedule it. Move on to the next panel.
Yeah, we struggle with that too. I will say, like, for any convention, and there's very few blanket statements I'll make, but for any convention, like if you say my only availability is Saturday afternoons and Saturday evenings, that's going to put you in with a lot of competition. It's going to be really hard to slot you. So that might take you out of the playing as well. So it really kind of depends. I run panels. I've also presented at like 30 different cons at this point. Like, so I'm like a passionate presenter, and like I do a lot of applications for this. I have one right now in the bucket for AwesomeCon, but my panel is like, it's a panel about religion and comics from an interfaith perspective. So we have like a Muslim, we've got Christians, we've got Jews, we've got pagans. But like scheduling, like the only time we're available is for Saturday. And so like that might not get accepted, even though it's great, it's got a fantastic panel. The only time we can do it is on Saturday. So if we do happen to get through, it'll be like Saturday at 8 a.m. So like just kind of keep that in mind. Questions? Okay. Person in the back I'm looking at right now. Yes, you. And then the person, the blue, yes, you with the shiny thing, and then we'll kind of go to this side. Yes.
So this might be a MAGFest specific question, but I know that MAGFest is a non-for-profit, and I know that some other cons have restrictions on what kind of programming they can run based on what kind of non-for-profit they are, that they might be educational or something like that, so they have to keep their subject matter in line with that.
Yeah. Stuff that's, I would say, towards the nonprofit goals does take a priority with us. One of our department heads that actually, especially talked about recently in the last couple of years of trying to make sure that nothing that goes against our nonprofit would be on that, and whether or not. So it's very much, we're kind of relax on it still, but like one of the things that I think we take a higher is like last year we had a guest is the Video Game History Foundation, and that's the kind of things we like to have an established relationship with. And I mean, our motto is make a better world through video games. And so if you can have a panel that fits that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'll say it very much varies from con to con. I used to staff Otakon, and like they are very specific. Like you have to be talking about Asian culture and Asian. Like if you come in with something from like a European perspective, it's not within their mission statement, so they're not going to accept it. The shiny, yes.
Yeah, can you speak to the makerspace applications? You know, how many that typically are there and how that selection works? 'Cause I noticed there were a couple similar sounding ones this year. Like there were two
Yeah, sadly, as someone who actually have no part in making that selection, and even though they're part of the application, so I could go through those applications, I don't. Like, straight up don't.
How many
Yeah.
people are jurying how many people do you know off the top of your head? How many people?
I think we had 9 so
Yeah.
far. Half of those are department heads, and then the other half are people that are like me that work in the department and kind of.
well versed.
The rule is, if one department head says they like it and no department head says no, that's the first pass of, like you basically have to have 4 people say this is not a bad idea, which is actually most panels. By the way, that's like I'm talking about. They look over it. That's when we talk about bad grammar. That's it looks good, sure, and then we all go through it and figure out the rest. But
Okay, hands. The lightning bolt coat, yes, you, and then hi, person in the back that I can't see. Yes, I'm making eye. Yep, you. I'm making eye contact with you. You're pointing at yourself. That's you. And then I'm going to grab a third person. This person with the white cowl neck sweater. Next. Okay. Yes.
How interactive can the panel be before it stops being like a panel? Like, can you do like a Quizlet?
are we talking about like game shows, or
Yeah, I guess.
or like Q&A, like basically what this is currently?
Like a game show, like you're giving a presentation, but you also have like a Kahoot as
Oh. So that's an interesting. So we haven't talked about. Can we table that for now? So we're just
Yeah.
talking about applications, and then we'll get into content, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because obviously we have a drop down of like what kind of content is
Yeah.
this.
Who was the next person that I had said? Yes, you.
You said one of the application questions is, have you presented at a con before?
Yeah.
But would you consider perhaps presenting at a professional conference?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Cowl neck, yes, you.
My question is a content one, so we can.
Okay. Application questions. Okay. Purple hair, red clothing, face mask who I'm looking at, and then person in front of the face. Hi, you. Okay. Yes. Purple hair.
Mine is 2, but I promised to both be quick. Also, I have a panel for both of you, both MAGFest and Zenkai, so love you
Yay.
guys. Been doing this for a decade.
Thank you.
So my question for application is 1, no matter how long I've been paneling, I never remember like how many people have been in my room. So what is a good guesstimation? Because I would say like, I don't know, 50 people, that sounds right. But I'm not actually good at like remembering.
Yeah,
Because it all blurs
like
together.
I'm not counting you, right?
Yeah, I'm like, was the room filled? Yeah, I'll say it was 50. So does that like work?
Yeah, it can help. Like if you panel back, like you can ask us afterwards because we
Yeah.
do try to keep those numbers.
Okay, see, I didn't even
But-
know you guys counted until.
Yeah, ask the
Yeah.
staffer, whoever's staffing the room, ask them like,
Yeah.
hey, and like, so for us, we count at the beginning, and then we also count who's there at the bitter end. So like, we count, so like, say there's 100 people in the room at like 5 after, and then at the end of the con, at the end of the presentation or panel, there's only like 10 people.
Yeah.
That's a sign, right, for next
If
year.
that many people leave my panel, I'm awesome.
Yeah, we
It's-
don't
it's
count at the
okay for
very
people to
end.
float,
We
so.
count like beginning in 15
Yeah.
minutes. That just says if the panel has started and then half the people leave because the content is not what they thought.
Yeah.
That's good enough for us to know if people are leaving. But a lot of times at the end, do this so much, it's like, yo, I gotta not stay the entire time. I gotta go to this other thing that's cool.
Oh, yes, you had a second.
Sorry.
That's
My
okay.
other one is like, I do a Name That Nerd tune. I've actually posted it at Zenkai before.
Yeah.
And I've been told by my attendees that they wish that I got more than an hour, but I'm worried that if I request more than an hour, that they will reject it. So I'm like, when do I make that? And like, is there any way to be like, hey, I would like more than an hour, but.
Yeah, that's definitely a notes thing. And I will say anything that goes through us that's more than an hour is a very big ask for us because of just scheduling time.
That's a con
Yeah.
by con thing too.
No
So
worries.
for
And, like,
ZenkaiCon,
sometimes I'd like to.
yeah, for our apps, we actually have a space where like, how much time would you want? And it goes from like 15 for a speed panel, which I'm not gonna get into, to like 3 hours for like a really in-depth workshop. since we're a smaller con, we've got more flexibility, and we don't have thousands of applications, so it's a little bit more flexible. And if you can say like I presented previously and this is how it went, that also helps us like know. Cool.
Thank you, yes.
Red dress, yes.
So we're talking a lot about like the application process. What have we like set the deadlines for next year's content?
Oh God.
So we haven't run our con yet.
Sadly,
but
I'll say this.
go ahead,
Sadly, we actually, I know panels department would love to like open our applications in March or April. It never happens. Like this year, the deadline was October 15th. Previously, it has been October 30th or sometime in October. We've been wanting to do it earlier and earlier, and then have it longer, and then stop. But yeah, sadly it's not consistent enough for me to give you a solid answer on that. I can only tell you this is what it was previous years, so we can kind of guess of future years.
Yeah, it's around the same time every year. So like it's around December, like it opens around the same in the same months and it closes in the same months. Other than that, you just have to watch the socials, and see and watch the website.
And go to magfest.org/apply.
Yeah, and go to our programming page on our website and like check that and check that and check that. I had already, so I said face mask and then you. Face mask, yes.
My question is, how do you weigh credentials? And what I mean by this is, there's going to be a very different type of person versus, like you mentioned, like a legal panel is going to need a lawyer, one dealing with mental health is going to need some, like a psychologist. But like when it gets into something that's more niche, how do you weigh the credentials? So like someone who has a storied history in a particular fandom or that group as a contributor to the history, or like maintains something like a wiki and maintains like a blog.
I don't think I've had to weigh such credentials. It's like,
I mean,
you've done
we
this, that's
vet.
good enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something I've been thinking.
The only time I feel like I've weighted credentials is people who want to do a panel about streaming, and I literally picked who had the most followers on Twitch. Like seriously, it's like, oh, people want to do it. Okay, you're one. You maybe have some. Oh, this one's an actual like Twitch partner. Yeah, I'm picking the Twitch partner.
Yes, you.
Do you have quotas for types of panels? Like specifically thinking like, do you have a quota for how many people you're gonna accept who've never done a panel before, so that like you have some?
Not that kind of quota.
No,
it's
not
more
like
of
that
what
at
I
all.
mentioned before of, hey, we had so many Expedition 33. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not going to accept all those.
Yeah. Okay, raise hands high.
Should move up content.
Red hair with ears, white person with the armband. You already spoke before. Have you spoken before? You have not spoken before. We're gonna do you, and then we're gonna go on to, so keep that in your head. Then we're gonna go on to content.
Sure.
And then more Q&A. Okay, who did I say first? You, hi.
So, what is...
Pause. Can you guys hear, in the back, can you hear questions when they're being asked and you're kind of getting understanding why the conversation's flowing? Ish.
I know we're
Okay,
supposed to
so
repeat
we'll try to
questions.
repeat the questions. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so... Can you hear me now?
Yeah!
Okay, good. So, what is the... What?
Okay, question. Yes,
So what would be like the minimum age for an applicant who would want to apply?
go for it. Oh, we have an 18. You have to be 18. From con to con, it varies because it also depends on like their 501c3 status and like some legal issues with that. It also depends on who is the like head applicant. So say it's like a parent and their child.
Yeah,
That's a scenario that we've let through before.
Yes,
So it kind of,
I've
but
done
if
that
it's
as
like
well.
5 13-year-olds want to lead a panel, that's gonna be slightly problematic. But yeah, we have on the application process, it asks if you're 18 plus and if at the time of the convention. So like at least the head has to, at least the person who's spearing it has to be 18 plus.
Yeah, since we don't even do 18 plus panels, it's like, wait, do I even have that on the submission? I'm like, holy crap, I don't. I'm just thinking there's only
Now
one
you're
panel.
gonna do it for next year.
Yeah, there's only one panel I've had to personally deal with that we've had minors, and it was about cosplaying with your kids, and it was a mother and with her actual kids, and yeah. And so that was the only time I would say I've had actual kids as panelists listed. Or I just love the joke of what's their profession? Child. Because that's it. There's like, we care about that. It's the funniest thing to put in the line.
Who was next that I said? Yes, you.
I just wanted to clarify on the timeline. You said October was the deadline.
Yep.
Area. What's the month opening? Is it like open for a month, 3 months? How
Yeah, sadly, we would want to open up more. It usually end up going in July, like either right before or right after registration opens. But we've been wanting it. I don't want to go into details of why it hasn't been going, but we would like to open, like I said, back in like April or something. But it never happens, and that's why I said, if it's open, it will be on the magfest.org/apply. I believe is the exact URL, and that's not only for panels but every single thing, like music and any other kind of content.
It just says check later until
Yeah, exactly.
It's like check in July, just like later.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're usually open for about 2 months to span. Who did I say was next? Yes, you in the back.
Okay.
I see you table it, and we'll table it. Yes.
Okay, so I just thought one other, but I'll go with my original. So if you have a panel with a YouTube link to your panel as part of it to show you what you're doing,
Yeah.
how much likely is that a really good thing?
Yeah, I mean, I look, yeah, that's great. That's really helpful if you have it. If you have a recording, I've sent out slides of mine. Like, here's my presentation of the slides that I use. Like, I've sent that to the applicants.
Not enough our panelists actually present slides, but there was one, I do remember, I'm not going to go in the subject. Let's just say their slides were bad. They said, oh, it's this subject matter about video game characters. There were no video game characters on the slides. It was all like cartoon characters, like Simpsons characters, and it's like, yes, this is fandom stuff, but it's like you missed the mark.
Yeah. Let's talk about content. Unless
Yes.
was there somebody else that I had already called on? No, I'm running on like caffeine and water and not a lot of sleep. Running a panel or a presentation or a workshop, over prepare. You're gonna speak. You're gonna have 100 people staring at you like I do right now. And you're gonna, adrenaline's gonna flow, and so you might speak a lot faster than what you usually do when you're doing it. So over prepare. As a person who runs panels, if we slot somebody for an hour, which is our default timing, and they don't have any stuff past 20 minutes, they didn't prepare enough. That's not, because our attendees are making time, and they've got lots of different options of where they want to be in whatever time. And if they make a point to go to your panel and you only have 15, 20 minutes of stuff and they could have been somewhere else with something they want to do, that's not a good experience for them. So over prepare. If you are allotted, for us, if you're allotted an hour, have at least 45 minutes of stuff and then 15 minutes of Q&A. So don't be like, I'm going to do a 10-minute presentation, the rest is going to be Q&A. Don't do that. Because you never know who's going to show up. It might be 3 people. It might be 75 people. Everybody might be hungover. Everybody might be really, really tired. So over prepare. If you are having a panel, and this is more for cons of my size than MAGFest, and you have introverts on your panel, do a dry run with them ahead of time to see how much time is this actually going to do. So, and also that lowers their anxiety level a little bit. So
yeah, the panels I've made, man, how many times I've spoken to myself. Actually, that's how I make my panel. I kind of make an outline and then I speak it out loud to do it, because it's good to speak it to make sure the word's right. Yeah, because writing it down versus saying it helps. And then I do that a couple times until I got the hour down.
Yeah. And Grammarly, and there's other tools that you'll have a script written and it'll say this is going to be 20 minutes talking. Doing it yourself is always helpful. And it also helps if you're presenting to get your mouth around the words so that you're not thinking on the fly. AV, always, in general, always have slides. If you can have slides, always have slides, because it's always helpful to have that visual information. Don't have a super text heavy slide, because as you can see in this room, if we had bullet points, the people on the far back aren't going to see a sized 14 font on that screen. That's just impossible. If you have slides, it's also really helpful to be like, hey, I have slides. The last slide is a QR code that you can take a picture of, or like get the QR code and download the slides. So you don't have to be like writing like crazy fast. You can actually pay attention and like kind of do with that. So that's always been like really positive. I will also say, whenever you're closing up, my spiel that I give whenever I'm presenting panels is like, hi, thank you all for coming to my panel. If you like what I did, let the con runners know. Go onto the guidebook app and give me 5 stars. That's fantastic. If you don't like my panel, then you should apply to do it next year. Like, and you can do it better. That's fine too. So that's my general spiel. It's a little caustic, but like it works. But yeah, so like definitely, if as a con goer, please let the convention know what went really well, because
what you like, what you don't like,
all that feedback, and we love that feedback, and we keep a track of it for the next year. So that is my little spiel on like presenting panels and content wise.
I still remember like last year. Our most feedback is actually the panel we didn't bring back, because we try to not have the same thing every year. But we ended up bringing back Salty Bet because it was so many people want Salty Bet. I'm like, okay, we'll get it. We'll give we definitely read that.
Yeah. All right. That's what I had prepared in like 5 minutes. So questions, no matter what they are. So like there were a couple of people that I was like tabled. So purple hat, yes, was tabled, and there was another person who was tabled. Who was that? That was you. Okay, so purple hat and then lightning bolt jacket.
Okay,
Yes.
two questions. When the application is open, where do you shout out about that? Is there a mailing list? Or, where's the best place to go to learn when that actually happens?
Our socials and our website.
Yeah, sadly, there's so many different socials out there, and it's hard to keep track. Because like,
Stuff gets fired out there.
exactly, like I think MAGFest, especially when we start announcing stuff, is like 3 times a week, and it can get lost in the sauce. Definitely, like I know. Usually we try to do our music applications like right after the event. Like that will be up, but only music applications. And then we don't get ours until later. And that's why when someone asked earlier, like, hey, when did you open? It's like, dude, I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, but you have like about it like every fall, every spring.
Yeah.
Like so, like start.
I'm just asking, how do we know?
No, yeah.
Check the website. Check the website like once or twice a month for within those time periods that we gave you, and then go from there. Because like we're open for 2 months. How long is your application open for?
Probably the same, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But
So like if you're checking it like once or twice a month, then you're good to go. Just check for it, and like make a note for yourself when you're planning out your year. Like this is like I like this is when Anime Boston panels open-ish. This is when Otakon panels open-ish, and I just make a note and I just check their websites within those months.
The other good one is how to bring slides. Do you have to bring an actual computer with your laptop, or do you just use these things fine? Do you have that kind of stuff?
yeah.
99% of the time you have to bring a laptop. This is why I don't have slides right now. I could have made them. But like you have to bring a laptop if you have, pay attention, like on our application it says very specifically what we have. So like the general thing is there's generally an HDMI. If you have an Apple computer, then you generally need to bring your own adapter.
This goes definitely into tech needs. We definitely have a writer, especially when we have a part of an application if you have specific tech needs, and that kind of is the same place if you're over an hour or something. Or if it's simple, like if your lecture, okay, you're just speaking to microphone, cool. Oh yeah, you're gonna have a presentation, yeah, HDMI and then an aux cable, fine.
Yeah.
But then we have some stuff, bigger stuff. It's like, okay, we need the actual. Oh, we're doing a dance. Okay, we're clearing off the panel. Like, okay, super
Clearing
art fight,
chairs,
clearing that, yeah, clear this. Oh, completely different setup, and one of our things, especially our bigger panels, is a tech writer, and that's. Tech writer is what it's called. Like bands have a writer of what they need and stuff. Usually people know about that as like, oh, we only want the blue M&Ms. But no, tech writers are a real thing and very, very vital of what you're going to have or not have. And even if you just say, yeah, I'm going to presenting something and I'm going to make sure I have an HDMI or something. But like maybe you're an Apple and you have Thunder? I don't know what outlets they have. And it's not HDMI and you need an adapter. We have some of those, but it needs to be written down so we can get them in time.
It's also helpful. So like standard is generally HDMI, like he said, aux cable, like a 3.5 millimeter jack. and microphones. If you are going to have Q&A and you want a floating microphone, which is what we should be doing, so it's accessible, but like we have it, we're just not doing it because hi, it's Sunday. That's something to also kind of ask. It really depends on kind of like what the program is. We have a drag show that happens that we have special guests that are doing, and so they have special techniques. So like it kind of goes like that. Hands. Oh wait, no, I already said you. Yes, yeah. Sorry. Hi.
May I add on a yes or no question as well?
Sure.
Sure.
When you apply, if you're part of a group panel, do you have to know every person who's going to be on it at the time you apply?
You need to have their permission that they're going to be on it with
Oh,
you.
yes. Okay, I'm going to say...
you need to, like, don't be like, hey, these are the 6 strangers that I don't know who are going to...
As a sold-out event, as someone who has maxed out capacity, we have a kind of internal limit of if you have so many people, like, okay, you have a queue and a couple of people, it's fine. But if you have 6 or more people, we're definitely going to be contacting you, like, why? Right? And there's a lot of people that ask last minute, hey, can I add this panelist? And to me, especially a week before the event, it's, oh, you obviously don't have a badge. You want your friend in. We're rejecting that. So that's a thing you have to do when you apply as well. Of if you need, whether it be, yo, I'm going to be talking and I just want this person to put next on the slide because, you know what, if they're doing that, it's fine. Or a lot of, especially YouTubers, will want someone to record it themselves. Usually we don't have a problem with that, but yeah, you need to have their name on the application.
Yeah, and you have to have their permission. It's also a con by con thing. So like SynChiCon maxes out at 4 panelists or 4 people, and we are very specific of like what they're doing. So like you said that's fine. That's not fine for us. So it kind of depends. Like
for us, it's amount like it's just 1 or 2 people. That's when I said it's like if you have 6, what?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's very much the more you have, the more we're gonna look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my initial question was kind of based off what I asked. So can you talk about the different content types you can do? You said something about like a game show.
Oh yeah. We kind of have a drop-down menu. It's like, are you doing a lecture? Are you doing Q&A? Are you doing game show? Or is it other? Okay. That's
are you doing a meetup?
Yeah. That's a simple kind of categorization we have in our application. Yeah.
So check the drop-downs. Hints. Okay. Glasses, who I said I was going to come back to. Yes, you. And then put your hands down if you've already talked. Okay. White fuzzy. Long hair. Orange jacket. That's 4 people. Okay, let's go.
This is a very mag-specific question.
Go for it.
If you're running like a game show or something, how do you get access to mag points to give out?
If you are, okay, so mag specific question. If you are running a game show, how do you get access to mag points?
That is also something you basically have to ask after we accept the panel. Or even in their thing. Because that's actually part of our checklist is once you're accepted, we kind of check of like your needs. And one of the things is in our form of, hey, when we say this is your time slot and all that, there'll be a bunch of information. And one of the things at the bottom is, do you need endpoints? And that's when he says, yes, I would like endpoints, please. Now, the actual amount you get may depend. In a game show, we expect to hand out some endpoints. And I'm not going to the exact number, but panels has a nominal amount set aside for us to give out to certain panels. And so, yeah, we do that.
Who did I say was next? This person, yes.
So I've been paneling for a while. There was one time I did panel at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
So what's the earliest that panelists have to sign in? Now,
I see.
Panelists may not be available to sign in the night before.
Yeah. So the question was, what's the earliest of the expectation for checking into panels? So like whenever you've been accepted to doing a panel, we're always going to ask for you to check in with Panels HQ. This is pretty system standard. Check in with Panels HQ before your panel. But as this person said, like they had a panel at like 9 a.m. They can't, like, how can they check in? So generally you can reach out to the panels department and see like, a lot of, like, how do I do this? A lot of cons are very specific. Like, you are not allowed on stage unless you have a panels ribbon, which you get at Panels HQ. So, like, that's the thing. So if it happens where, like, say I'm scheduled to be at 9 a.m. and I know I'm not going to be able to pick up my badge and go to Panel HQ like during registration the night before. But how do I do this? They'll be like, you need to do this on Thursday night, or they'll say, we'll send a staffer for you and they'll walk you through and help you out.
Yeah,
And they'll meet with you.
this
So
is
it's a
why
very
Panelists
case-by-case basis. It
doesn't
depends on the
schedule
cons.
stuff until noon
Yeah.
or noon 30 on Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's like we want you at least a little bit of time so you can get your stuff together, like
Yeah.
2 hours.
Who did I say was next? Yes, I did say you were next. Sorry. Hi, thanks.
So I know you said not to leave too much time for questions, but what do you think is like a good amount of time to allot?
10,
You said 10 minutes?
10, 15 at most.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're at half your panel, that's like 30 minutes, that's too much
Yeah,
usually.
exactly.
And there are some panels we rejected because it was an hour panel and they wanted 90 minutes to do a 30-minute Q&A.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I mentioned earlier, like asking more than an hour is an issue for us for how much we want to schedule. So.
Who did I say was next? Yes, orange jacket.
Yeah. For panels, not like concerts, performances, but for like panels like a game show or something that involve instruments, are those, this is MAGFest specific, I mean, are those limited to certain rooms or like where they already have those instruments, like drums, for example? Or is it just if you can bring it, it can go anywhere?
Because like the instrument panels we have, that's more of like a jam clinic thing that we do, right?
Yeah,
and that's not us.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have panels type content in orchestra and jam clinic specifically. I do not take a part of that at all. I think that might be
not
a
your
separate-
circus, not your monkeys.
Yeah, definitely not my circus. Ugh.
Okay. Okay. Hands, everybody. Okay. Wait. So beard. I haven't heard from you before. Yes, you. And then gray hat in the very back. Yes, you. And then blue sweater up here. Yes.
Okay, content question for like game show style panels. We had one accepted at a prior MAGFest and it didn't make the cut this year. What makes a game show more likely to be accepted by MAGFest?
I will be honest when I say a game show, considering we have MAGFest Versus, it is the hardest to get accepted. Like straight up the hardest when it comes to the amount we have. And I don't know if I could give you a reasonable answer because I could give you advice, you could do it all, and probably still get rejected. And to me, yeah, I'm sorry. I may have to go one-on-one with you on this because it's game shows are the hardest thing to do, and the most usually require the most tech setup.
Grill
as well.
him after.
Yes, please.
Who was next? Oh wait, very back was next, right? Yes. Gray hat.
Sorry, this is a really weird question, and just feel free to totally dismiss it. How do you guys feel about live insects interacting during a presentation?
Live insects interacting.
Live.
At the presentation.
One more time.
Live insects interacting, like, not like.
Oh. Having so that's a con by con. So like it depends on like venue regulations on whether or not you're even gonna have allow the animal in the space.
Yeah, this is service animals only.
Fire. There's lots of like regulations that we have to do with our venues. So it really depends on that.
Yeah, one of the regulations that we are upset. One thing we would like to do is we used to have a thing at our previous event, space called Gamer Iron Chef, which is like cooking. We cannot do that at the Gaylord.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
food is
that's
an issue.
food is an issue and stuff like that. Like I think Gaylord is only surface animals allowed. So
yeah,
we've wanted to have like a cat room as a thing, as like we want a quiet room to have a cat so you can pet a kitty. But it's like no, we can't do that.
Yeah, we wanted. There was one of our invited guests wanted to do like a tea room type thing, and we couldn't do that because we would have to like. It would be cost prohibitive because like $75 for a cup of tea is not where we want to be with our attendees. I think blue was next, and then I'll take and then I'll do hands. Yes. Does being an accepted panelist affect your hotel lottery at MAGFest?
Sadly, no. It's the hotel lottery is the same. There are we've definitely had people that says, sorry, I can't do it because I can't get a hotel. That is a thing, or I know. We try to help them, but like, yeah, we can only do so much, just in general with that end. Yes, if you do a panel, we reimburse your badge, or you will get a badge, but that's all we can do. And actually getting a hotel, then your guest status, and not many panelists end up getting guest status.
We've got 5 minutes left. If you haven't spoken or asked a question, raise your hand. You have a question. Okay, so ball cap and then white pretty sleeves or pink pretty sleeves. Yes, you. Ball cap. Yes, in the back. Yes, you.
Okay. Do you guys regard applications differently based on whether they were submitted early versus late?
This goes what I kind of said this earlier. The earlier you submit, the better it just looks in general, because we have more time to go through the application. If we get multiple things on the same subject, you're first, then it gets a little bit weighted. Like whatever comes next has to be so much better than yours for us to take it at priority versus whatever you submit if it's on the same subject. And the fact I mentioned that we get 40% of our in the last two days.
I tend to submit mine closer to the deadline just because I submit to a lot of different cons and I lose track and now.
Yeah.
Understandable as well. Yeah, because we will have a social media post at the beginning, but then like a bigger social media post of a week left, then a day left, and people will see that like, oh, crap. Yeah.
A little, what he said, a little bit. We don't weigh it as much. It's more of like if we say we have 6 applicants on doing K-pop Demon Hunter panels, then we're gonna like go through, and if all 6 kind of pass muster, then we're gonna look at them as a group, and it's not really time of when they were submitted. So like, ish. So yeah, that's how it goes. Pretty sleeves, yes, pretty sleeves. Thank you.
So you were talking about different kinds of panels, like for example, game show panels are hard to get in, right, and so forth. Some things are more, you want more than others, kind of thing. So suppose I have a panel about, say, like a big technical project, like a big ROM hack or something. Here's how we did it. Here's all that. Is that the kind of panel that MAGFest is really looking for?
Sorry, on what specific subject?
Like say, for example, if we did a big ROM hack or something.
Oh, ROM hack. Okay. Yeah. We've definitely done those.
Like a demo?
Well, I remember a while ago we had a panel about, it was developer, which I think they showed off their game in MIVS, that they made their game in PowerPoint. And just it's like, yeah, we made a game in PowerPoint. Like to me, we want that. Since we've had game developers can do panels, it's what about that is unique. Like if you made a ROM hack, what makes that ROM hack unique? I mean, we do a Mario Maker panel every single year, and perhaps if it's something like that at that point it'd be more MAGFest kind of deal of like, yo, play my ROM hack. Yeah.
Hands. Purple hair, you who I'm looking at right now, and then blue hair. Purple hair.
Mine isn't so much a question, just things that I feel like other people that might be starting out might need to know, if that's okay.
Let's come back to you last and see how much time we have, because we're running fine.
Understood.
Yes.
So specifically, when my panel got rejected, I was told to use the soapbox, which is a new space grad, and I think a lot of people experience that.
That's our standard rejection level. Just like, yeah, if you want to do something.
I have a question about it.
Sure.
There's like the people counting how many people are here. The person running the soapbox, are they taking like notes on what topics people are interested in, or like if they don't want to listen to that?
The soapbox is just okay. You can talk about whatever as long as you don't break social rules. And we've had it for years. I think this is the first year we kind of mentioned of if you failed your panel subscription, try to do something at Soapbox. Just so you can have the super secret panel of this. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay, blue hair? Yeah.
Quick question, Meg specific.
Yep.
If you already have commitments, so for example, if you're in the volunteer orchestra that has the performance limit, and your panel gets accepted over that time slot?
Yeah, you emailed us. You emailed us and says you have this, and that's something I mentioned this much earlier. Is like I said, if you're a cosplayer and you want to be part of the cosplay contest, you want to say that's availability, and we definitely have plenty of musicians that says I want to be part of the community orchestra. I've dealt with this specifically with a panel and had to reschedule them and made it work. So,
orchestra rehearsals
yes.
are scheduled much later after panels usually.
Yeah, that's definitely of the case. We have to go through and talk to the other departments, and then be very annoyed that they haven't put their schedules up. There's, sad to say, we
Pause.
always have
Do 5 more
some-
minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
sure,
always have
that's-
some kind of
okay.
overlap that we kind of have the same fandom that have to go to 2 different places. It sucks.
Okay.
Hey, this is really quick with this box thing. I just like, I just fucking played.
Don't worry. Well, I can talk to you all outside.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Purple Hair had some things for the good for the order.
Yes, one thing, because I heard someone mention, like, I sometimes forget how many I submitted to. Make a list of who you submitted to, what panels you submitted, and what panelists you have on it. I forget all the time. The sooner you start writing things down, the better, especially because I know that you guys go through and it's like, where else have you paneled? What panel was it? How many people were there? Keep track of all that information if you can. Write it down as soon as you have it. And the other thing with the preparation of your panel, run your panel for your friends and time yourself. Because yes, you might speed through it and be done within 20 minutes. You also might realize you are really hyperfixated on this thing and you go over an hour. Run it
Yeah.
for your friends, see if they understand it.
Yes.
Hopefully everyone heard me. I'm very loud.
Yes.
I'll also say I've got 2 Word documents. One is these are applications I've done with places. So if I have a panel on Nintendo Switch 2 games and I can shop it at Anime Boston, I can send the same language to Otakon, etc. And then I've got another one for like these are accepted ones that I've done. So I've got my public speaking
That too.
like
Write
as
down
a
your
credential.
description so you can copy and paste them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Copy pasta.
Hands. Hold. Other hands. Yes, you with the. I haven't heard from you before. Yes, you. Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how to translate this into words. Okay. It's impossible for whoever's on the panels team to like have comprehensive knowledge of every franchise and piece of technology.
True.
That's why we have a team.
Everybody might be very autistic about out there.
Yeah.
Is there like some way of explaining like, obviously you guys keep keeping on top of like game awards. Okay, you know, Player Obscure.
Sure.
Everybody loves it. So people are gonna want to talk about that. But there might be other games or whatever that are going through like a huge resurgence that you just don't know about because you're not in that specific area of expertise. Is there some way that like the panelists can tell you, hey, I am in like this fan base and this community and this major thing just happened and I know that people are going to want to hear about this, even if you guys don't?
There's often a little space, and we have it. I'm not sure you probably have it too. Is like, why do you think this would be good for our attendees? So that's where you put that, and then you like even if you have like links to like this is the article on like IGN about it, like that type of thing, like go for it.
Yeah.
But we do try to have a diversified jury pool too, who have various interests that are like kind of looking.
Like
at
for
different
anything
things.
you want to link, we have 2 descriptions. One is the external description we plan to use on Guidebook, which is limited characters, but the internal description is anything you want to put. I've had paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs.
Yeah.
The longest one, which is last year, like God, the Eggman panel was like.
Yeah.
They gave us all. Well, it's the case of the more information, the better, right?
Well, yes,
it's
but
as
also
simple as
like.
that. Yeah, don't rant.
We want
yeah.
quality too. So
Damn
like,
right.
yeah, don't. If you're floral, try to pare it down. But
Well,
like yes.
Especially for a silly panel like that, when you want to tell a joke, but you may want to explain it so you can have a joke on the description, so it doesn't actually say. But then it's like, yo, this is actually what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like we need to be in.
Yeah, if you have coded language,
exactly.
make sure that we know about what's going on there too. But like coded language is tricky because then
But
like,
yeah,
you have to make sure that the attendees know.
I get what you're talking about because I've God, I love this one experience. We had a panel submission, and I accepted it, about Wesley Willis. Who knows who Wesley Willis is? One person knows who Wesley Willis is.
That's the person who applied. I'm just kidding.
If you don't know, he made a little song called Rock and Roll McDonald's. And I was like, you know what? People don't know who Wesley Willis is. They need to know. I'm accepting this panel. And it only accepted because I was a part of the team, and I'm the only one who knew.
Yeah, and you were advocating very passionately about it.
Even though it was kind of a crappy run panel. But yeah, is it time?
Thank you guys.
Not the best panelist.
Do you have any final remarks? No. Thank you guys for coming.
We'll talk more outside.
Have a good con. Ask questions.